Hey y'all, I'm Michelle Hill with Southern Inspirations. Welcome to Good Eating. Y'all, I have partnered with food blogger Daniel Champagne of D-Champ Eats to bring you regular episodes of Inspiration in the Kitchen. Daniel and I have teamed up to share with you some of our favorite recipes from childhood and beyond. Come on in and watch today's episode of Good Eating Inspiration in the Kitchen. Well, good evening, Daniel. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. It's been a good week. I'm excited to cook, but I'm doing good this evening. How are you?
I am doing well, thank you. I am excited about dip night.
Yes, absolutely.
So everybody, welcome to another episode of Inspiration in the Kitchen, a Good Eating by Southern Inspirations production. I am Michelle Hill with Southern Inspirations, and my partner in the kitchen is Daniel Champagne from D-Champ Eats.
Yeah.
So,
hello, everyone.
Yeah. Here we are. So tonight we have teamed up to share with you guys our dip recipes. I'm sharing one of my favorites that I've made for years called Mississippi Sin. And, you know, I'm from Mississippi, if y'all don't know that by now. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that recipe in a little bit. And then let's make
Please do.
Do what? What'd you say?
I said, please do. I've never heard of this.
Yes. And you are making buffalo chicken dip. So, oh my gosh. Are you having like a little extra kick, a little extra spice to it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I would expect nothing less because that's just what do you make your, I guess I'm jumping ahead, but like I want to know all about the sauce, which I know you're going to tell us. So, all right. Well, with that, are we ready to jump in?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. You kick us off. You know, I have to get situated every time.
Yeah, absolutely. So, buffalo chicken dip, you'll find lots of different recipes out there on the internet. But really, this was something that I started making years ago when I got invited to a football watching party. I love college football, and I'm hoping that we get to watch some this fall. So this was a dip that when somebody said, hey, bring something to share, I would always make this dip because it's quick, it's easy, and it makes everybody happy. So I love chicken wings, and so this is the way to do it. And it's super simple. It's got like 5 or 6 ingredients over here. But yeah, do you want me to go into the ingredients, Michelle? Or?
Well, I'll share with them real quick, just background on Mississippi Sin, and then so y'all, I can't claim the recipe as one of my own. It comes out of one of my favorite cookbooks, though, called With Special Distinction, and this is a cookbook that was put together by Mississippi College, which is a private Christian college in Clinton, Mississippi. So on page 26 is the recipe. Now, of course, as with any recipe, and particularly if it's in my kitchen, there are always alternatives. There's things you can add in. This one calls for ham. You can do sausage. You can do bacon. You can do ground beef. You know, that's the beauty of, I think, Daniel, you and I are so much alike that in that aspect, trying different things and kind of shaking up recipes a little bit. So now, I don't necessarily know the history of why it's called Mississippi Sin. The only thing that I can come up with in my own mind is that it's so stinking good that it must be a sin to eat it. And or maybe it's that it's so good it causes gluttony, which we know is a sin. So when I share with y'all the ingredients and just the yumminess, goodness of it, and you see it coming out of there, the bread or that Frito, yeah, you could feel sinful. So I think that's where it gets its name, Daniel.
Probably. Well, I had never heard of it until you said you're making it. So I did look it up, and I was like, okay. I immediately, when I see a recipe, I'm like, well, I could sub in this instead of this.
Yes.
I can just do it instead of. And that's where my buffalo chicken recipe is. I took something that somebody made, and I said, I want to do this to make it a little different. And so I've adapted it and done different things. So yeah, that's.
I love it. Well, while you kind of dig in to that a little bit, I'm just gonna finish up my bread. So y'all, I have taken just a loaf of French bread and cut the top out, and because that's what we're going to put this yummy dip down in. And so I'll finish up kind of taking these bread pieces off of here and putting in the bag, because those are, I like using the bread and the Fritos, but I'll kind of finish up on my bread while you get going on that.
Yep, absolutely. So for buffalo chicken dip, you need chicken. So here's the deal. I used to use, when I was a bachelor, I used to use canned chicken for mine because I didn't want to boil a chicken. Like, I didn't want to do all that work. And look, you can still use canned chicken. It's just as delicious because buffalo sauce and all the other ingredients cover everything. But this is shredded chicken. And I made this afternoon. And my pro tip for making easy shredded chicken is you use your Instant Pot to cook the chicken, and then you pop it in your KitchenAid mixer with the paddle attachment.
Oh.
And it takes whole chicken breast and turns it into shredded chicken.
Shredded chicken.
Right there. So you don't have to use forks and like you get a workout. You just have shredded chicken. So starts with chicken, and I am warming up a pot right now. So a lot of times with buffalo chicken dip, you're going to mix it all together and then pop it in the oven to heat up. Well, we're not going to wait for that to happen. So I'm actually going to mix it all up in a pot so it's warm before it goes in with the last ingredient on top. So, so we have chicken that I'm going to pop in this pot. You've got some Louisiana hot sauce right here.
Oh yeah, now you're.
You don't even need to make your own buffalo sauce. You can just use a pepper sauce like Louisiana. So
now you are talking a little extra.
Yeah. No ingredients, spicy. That's what you need. So you got that. You got cream cheese, half a block, so 4 ounces. Now a lot of recipes called for a full block. Well, I decided that I kind of liked a sour creamy note to it instead. So I used half a block of cream cheese, and I use non-fat Greek yogurt. And so it lightens it up a little bit, but adds some tartness to it, some of that more cream goodness. So I'm going to pop that in there. And I'm going to mix that up. And I'll start mixing while you do your thing, Michelle.
All right, so I got my bread completely put out. And let me go ahead and tell y'all this too. For tonight, I cut the recipe in half because I wanted to have one already ready. Y'all, this has to bake for a full hour.
Oh my.
I have one ready over here, and so I will post the recipe that has the correct amounts for like a full big loaf of French bread.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I bought 2 of just the smaller ones, so that's ready to go. Okay, now for the inside. Cream cheese is like heaven. I mean, come on. And so this does also have, again, it's in half. So full recipe calls for an entire block of cream cheese. And I'm going directly by the book for tonight. Like Daniel, there are times, when I make substitutions, but I'm directly by the recipe. So cream cheese and then sour cream. And literally, y'all, all you're doing is mixing all this stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
a good spatula to get it all out of there. Okay. Shredded cheddar cheese, full recipe is 2 cups. So this is a cup. Shredded cheese. I think it's 1/3 cup of green onion. About 1 green onion is enough. So I love green onion though, so I'm just using a full one in both loaves. So there's my green onion. And then about 1/3 of green chilies, and you can do mild or spicy. So anybody want to guess which one I'm doing? So in go the spicy green chilies. Okay, all that. And then this is a couple of pieces of ham. I think it's 1/3 cup. I should have left my cookbook open to get the exact measurements. But again, I'm going to post the recipe. But this is chopped ham. I love just the smoky flavor, not too much, but I love just the smoky flavor that the ham brings to it. It just goes really well with the tartness of the chilies. And so I almost forgot, speaking of a little tartness, a little dash of Worcestershire.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's the inside. So I'm literally going to stir this up and put it inside this bread. I've already got another pan ready that's lined with foil because once I stuff it, we're going to wrap the entire thing in foil and throw it in the oven for an hour.
There we
go. The one over there only had in there about 45 minutes since these were a little smaller.
Yeah. All right. So my mixture is really warm. It's sizzling in the pan, which is what you want to get when you put it in the oven. But the last thing I'm going to do before I put it in the pan is do a handful of cheddar cheese.
Ooh, come on.
Gives you that glue that holds it together,
Yep.
And then when you dip it, you also get the stringy cheese, the goodness.
Oh, yeah.
So mix that together. Then we're going to pour it into our pan. Little 9x9. Super easy.
So I'm just scooping this yumminess into this bread.
Yeah.
And y'all, when you cut your bread out, be sure, you want it to be sturdy enough, obviously, to hold your dip, not be so thin, but you still want to cut it out pretty deep where all of this is.
Yeah.
And I call this the lid. This is I just call it.
Yeah. That's perfect. I'm going to put a little bit of dip to the side so I don't break the prettiness. Because I got to take pictures after this, I didn't do a batch before. So, food blogger alert here. So, before I put this in the oven, so what you're going to do if you are cooking the whole thing in the oven, you put it in until it's bubbling, and then you take it out and you put cheddar cheese on top and then pop it back in. You skipped the oven part. I'm taking all this nice sharp cheddar cheese and I'm putting it on top in a nice layer. And this is one of those things where you don't have to measure. You get a layer on there. If you want more than just that layer, you do you. It's your business.
That's right.
All right. Put a little bit on my little tasting bud here. I'm going to pop both in the oven. 350 oven. And while that's cooking, I thought about talking about some substitutions. So,
oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm just going to pop mine in the oven, y'all. I put the lid on it. It's stuck, and I mentioned that I'm wrapping it in foil, and the oven is at 350. And so I'm going to pop that in there while Daniel gets started talking about the substitutions.
Yeah. So I mentioned that when I first made this, I used canned chicken. And then tonight, I boiled chicken using the Instant Pot and shredded it in the mixer. The other thing you can do is you can use a rotisserie chicken. So pick one up on your way home, shred it off the bone, and use that as your chicken for your dip. So there's a chicken substitution there. And like I said, I mentioned the non-fat Greek yogurt. You can use a full-fat Greek yogurt. You can use sour cream, or you can just use the whole block of cream cheese. So there's options there with your creaminess that you can use in there. And then another variation you can ask, because I just kind of like the pure buffalo taste, but a lot of people will add either blue cheese or ranch dressing in the mixture, because it adds that blue cheese, wings dipped in blue cheese, wings dipped in ranch deal if you want. So you can add some of that in there. Just subtract some of your other liquids so it's not too liquidy. Some people top it with blue cheese at the end. So there's lots of different things you can do with this dip to make it your own, make whatever flavors you want. For me, I'll probably like drizzle a little ranch on top at the end just to kind of give it that like wings dipped in ranch kind of feel. Just to mix it up a little bit, but you can do whatever you want. There's lots of options.
Can't go wrong with a little extra ranch.
No, never.
I was about to say something else. Something you said prompted me on something, and now, like, whoop, it went away. So maybe it'll come back to me later, right? Yeah. We'll see. I know what I wanted to ask you. So about green onions.
Uh-huh.
How do you cut your green onions? Since that's in my recipe, it just made me think of how do you cut your green onions?
Well, I'm literally cutting green onions right now.
Oh, you see, you know me and my eyes. Like,
so I'm new to green onion cutting. I'm new to green onion cutting because I used to not like green onions. So recently I've taken them and I'll leave them bunched up like this with their rubber band so they hold together. And I just start at the end and I cut little slivers. I bunch them all together and cut it.
Gotcha.
And then the next time I need them, I just grab the same set of stalks and cut some more off.
That's pretty darn smart.
Right, wrong, I don't know.
I thought I was going to have a smart tip.
Well, what's yours?
I'm not pulling my green onions out. Well, let me find my shears. Well, yes, I will, because I got to have the effect, right?
Yeah, you got it.
So, I do take them. These three have been washed, by the way. I do take rubber bands off and wash them and whatever. And then, that one's already been cut on the end. I use kitchen shears and go snap, 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 snap.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I used to use a knife, and I don't know. I mean, I didn't make it up, obviously, but it occurred to me one day that I'm like, I think that'll work a little bit quicker. But I kind of like your idea because they all stay together.
Right. That's perfect.
You said you use what you need, and the rest, I love that idea.
Yeah. Well, Jill wants to replant the bulbs because you can replant your green onions.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, so now I have a little bit of extra green onion.
Yep. I put broil on just now to get the cheese a little bit more bubbly, and then we're going to take it out and dip, and it's going to be delicious.
Mmm. I have mine ready.
Yeah.
And so you'll see it's just nice and yummy and warm, and I'm going to take it just straight off of here onto the plate, and then I'm going to put my little bread around it for serving, and I like to have it with Fritos.
Ooh.
And so you just pick it up, put it on here. And then I do like to, just because I think it's pretty, I will also, in fact, I can use some of those green onions to garnish. I'll kind of put it a little bit sideways on the plate and prop this up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that steam's coming out of there. Can you see that good, Daniel?
I
Kind of, sort of?
Kind of, sort of. Don't drop it. Oh, yeah.
Ooh, I know, right? So all the cheese is melted, all the cream cheese.
Yummy,
So I
yummy.
like to take it and just prop it up like that. Because again, I just think that makes it pretty. Get all the cheese off my fingers. If I wasn't live, I'd lick my fingers and like keep going. But I do that.
All right.
And then a little bit of bread on the side. There's those bread pieces, which are yummy. You know, the other thing you can do with your bread is grind it for breadcrumbs.
Oh yeah, that's great.
But there's never any left.
Right.
I'm eating it with this dip. So I got bread on one side and Fritos on the other. And then I'll take some of that fresh green onion and just kind of sprinkle on top.
Yeah.
And let me see if I can bring this a little bit closer. How about that? Whoop!
There you go. Oh man, can I come over?
Absolutely.
We joke about this every week. We're gonna make this happen.
I know. You know, I have this extra one over here. We talk about that every single time for sure.
Yeah. So I just took mine out and I put some green onions on top. So you can see that melty cheese, that fresh green onion on top.
Mmm. Yum.
It's good.
I see a couple of comments. Cheese is so good stuff, Holly said. Mike and Jody saw it's both yummy. Thank you all so much for watching. We appreciate it.
Yes. Hey, Jody. Hey, Holly. So I serve mine with the various things. Sometimes, well, I used to just bring chips. But, you know, when you're in your early 20s, you can just eat chips with dip all the time, right? But, you know, as you get older, you get a little sophisticated with your dips. And what goes with buffalo wings but celery and carrots? So got some celery, some carrots, and some pita chips. So you still got some chips. So can dig in with whatever you want or a mixture of all. You know, balance. Life is all about balance, which sometimes means a cookie in each hand. And sometimes means a veggie and a chip. So, you know, you go either way.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Yes.
Well, it looks beautiful and yummy. And again, we got to, you know, figure this out with the exchange here. I think we'll take my extra one to my in-laws or a neighbor or somebody. We don't need to eat two of these.
Right.
For sure.
My mom's coming over. She's like, as soon as the live's done, I'm coming over. So,
oh my goodness.
Well,
I got sirloin beef tips in the crock pot with some fresh purple hull peas that are cooked, and I'll do rice and some crescent rolls. It's one of my daughter's favorite meals. So I knew I couldn't get away with like just having dip for dinner. If it was just me, I would just eat the dip for dinner. But beef tips for her and my husband.
Well, I'm going to try mine right now. Do you want to try yours right now?
Yeah, why not? You taught me to do it. All right.
It was so tough to convince you.
All right, and I'm eating it with a Frito just because it's my favorite.
Oh, yeah. There we go. A little big bite right there. It's steaming. If I don't blow on it, I'll regret it.
All right, now I'm going to try it with the bread. Oh,
wow.
And warm and cheesy and just yummy. That's
Look, here's the deal. I always get scared when I put that much hot sauce in a dish. But the cream cheese, the yogurt, the chicken, the cheddar, it all mellows it out, and it's the perfect level. Like, y'all, it's perfect. I would add more because I like spice, but for like, it really is perfect. I would eat it just like this. So, like, when I tell you to use a quarter cup of hot sauce, trust me. So,
well, wait to try it. So when we finally get together, we will definitely have to make Mississippi Sand and buffalo chicken dip together, along with everything else we're going to make. Did we have somebody else come in? I may go to Michelle's instead. I don't know who that is.
That was probably my mom. That was probably my mom.
You want to come pick up the extra one,
Right.
Linda? If you want to ride to Maumelle, Newport's pick up. All the I heard you already promised it to her. I might be in trouble, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Karen said it looked good. Christine asked about the recipe being posted. We'll post our recipes ASAP.
Yes, we will. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I know I say this every week, but we're having fun and we enjoy doing this.
Yeah.
And tag teaming it. But let us know if there's anything special that you would like to see, any certain recipe or dish. And don't forget that Daniel and I both are wide open and offer virtual cooking demonstrations classes. So if there's something particular that you want to learn to make or a technique that you think one of us can help you with, reach out to us. We're happy to work with you on that. What else? What else, Daniel?
I think that's it. That was fun.
Christine, the recipes will be posted in Good Eating. They're not there yet. It probably will be tomorrow for mine before I get it posted. It will be in Good Eating. I know you're looking, Christine, for the tomato cups. So I hope you found that on the Good Eating page the other day. So, yeah. And then Daniel's blog. Don't forget about
I'll post the links in Good Eating, sorry.
On your blog. So anyway, they'll be there. All right, y'all. That is a wrap. Again, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Have a wonderful evening and weekend. And we'll see you right back here for Inspiration in the Kitchen in a couple of weeks.
Yep, sounds good. See everybody. Bye.
Bye.